Hello friends, this is Worm, and I'm interrupting today's scheduled content of Exotic Crafting to talk about an issue that is coming back to Destiny 2 that we haven't really seen for a long time, but here over the past weekend I started really noticing what's going on, and I just figured we'd talk about it. But that epidemic is the players leaving matches thing. Now this is nothing new in Destiny 2. Players have historically always left matches for a variety of reasons. Maybe you gotta go, maybe it's the internet's bad, maybe it's because you don't want to play. But over this weekend, this past weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I noticed that there was an insane number of players leaving quick play matches. Mind you, I took some numbers here because I was playing on Friday and I started noticing people were leaving like crazy. And so Friday night, I went to bed, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what, tomorrow, every game I play for the next, over the course of the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to keep track on how many games players are actually leaving the lobbies from. Played 60 games total over the course of Saturday and Sunday. Of those 60 games, sorry, I have my tallies right here. Of those 60 games, 53 games had at least one person leave. Multiple of those games had more than two people leave. I had several games where somebody would leave and then get put back in the lobby because they, got back into matchmaking and then leave a second time. And it's kind of disappointing to me because I play Crucible to have fun, and it's difficult to have a fun, entertaining game when it's a 4v6 or a 6v4. It's difficult, if your team is the one that has 6 and you're up against only 4 enemies, it's difficult to find those 4 enemies. If it's vice versa, you're a team of 4 up against a team of 6, it's difficult because every encounter you get into, you're getting, killed off spawn, you are getting obliterated by multiple teammates, or multiple enemies, sorry, not teammates. But it's kind of just not a fun experience when players are constantly leaving matches. And like I said, I noticed this on Friday. I was like, man, I feel like there's a lot of games where people have left. And so I started taking this data on Saturday. And this is not like a professional data or anything like this. This was done on a piece of paper. But I just did a stroke. Every time I played a game and somebody left, at least one person left, I would just write down a little tally mark. 53 games. That's insane. That's 53 games out of the 60 I played. 60 games in total. That means of the 60 games I played, I had 7 games over the past 2 days where everybody stayed, nobody left. It was a normal, balanced game. And actually, what I should have done, maybe I will do it in the future, is go back and count how many players left this game, because many of those games, it felt like multiple people were leaving, like 2 or 3 people were leaving on one team or another. There were even games where my team would have somebody leave or 2 people leave, and then somebody on the enemy team would also leave. So it goes from a 6v6 down to a 4v5 or even a 4v4 in some instances. And it's that's not fun. That's boring. And I don't know what exactly is causing this. I have a couple of ideas in mind. I've heard a lot of sentiment recently that Redrix Estoc is ridiculous now. It's not fun to play against. Personally, I don't have a problem with it, but everybody has their own taste in Crucible. I know that a lot of people are complaining about Radiant Dance Machines. A lot of people are still complaining about Smoke and still complaining about Storm's Keep and stuff like that. There's a lot of complaints to be made about the meta, and I think that could be something that is potentially pushing players just to not finish games or not complete games. Of course, this all could just be my end. One of the things I want to ask y'all is, have you experienced this as well? Are you seeing a lot of people leaving your games as well? Because it's getting ridiculous over here on my server, I guess. I don't really know the number of players that are leaving, but tell me if y'all are having the same experience. But I'm not sure if it's a meta situation, if it's just a lack of any kind of punishment. Historically we had the punishment for leaving matches or quick play, and back in those days, I was very against that. And the reason why is because, of course, Destiny was undergoing a lot of server maintenance at that time, and so you would have a lot of people getting error coded out of games, and it's not fun to sit there and try to play Crucible and you get error coded, and then you get error coded again, and all of a sudden you can't play for 30 minutes. It's not something you're necessarily doing, and Bungie's still punishing you for it. So back, what was it, in 20, Witch Queen era, I think is what it was. Back in Witch Queen era, I understand why Bungie like made that a solution to the problem. They say, hey, we're going to start banning people, but I also don't think it was a good idea because of these server issues. Now, here we are in 2025, we don't have those server issues anymore. Like I have not been booted out of a game since before Final Shave. Like I have not been error coded out of a game since, and probably even before that. Like at least since Final Shape, I have not been error coded out of a game. So I highly doubt that of the 60 games I played, that in 53 of those games, somebody got error coded out. No, I think that people are just leaving because they are salty. They don't like the meta. They don't like what they're up against. Like, I've got news for you. Like, you're never going to like what you're up against in Destiny 2. Like, there's always going to be somebody using something that you don't like. There's always going to be somebody using Radiant Dance Machines and Redrix as a stock until they get nerfed. And then even then, you'll probably still have people using them. You're always going to have, Storm's Keep Titans sitting in the back of the map. You're always going to have those really talented snipers that can just, hit crazy shots. You're always going to have those people with hand cannons that can easily 3-tap you through flinch and everything. Like, that's something that you have to deal with when you play Destiny 2. Like, if you don't like that, don't play Destiny 2. You should not be just leaving games because you don't like the way that somebody's playing. What you really should do is learn how to play around that. If you don't like the way somebody's playing, figure out how you can counter it. That's how you get better at Crucible, in my opinion. But with that being said, I've kind of said my piece here. Like, I don't know what's going on. I really wish I could get more solidified numbers as to how many people are leaving games, because like I said, like this is a very low census. Like, out of 60 games, I had 53 marked that people left, and I'm sure probably 1 or 2 people in all those games got error coded or something like that, but for the most part, like, there's not that many error codes in Destiny 2 right now. There's just not. Like, I have yet to see an error code happen to somebody else who's streaming. I have yet to have it happen to me. My wife has yet to have it happen to her. Like, it's not happening. People are leaving games because they don't like the way the game is going, and that is a really unfortunate situation that's going on, and I really wish Bungie could find some way to fix it. How they could fix it, I don't know. I've never been an advocate for penalties after quick play games, like for leaving quick play games, but like, it might get to a point where if you are habitually leaving quick play games, like, you need to have a ban, and more than just twice. Like, like, I think one of the issues is historically you would leave one game, you get a warning, and then once you left a second game, you'd get a 30-minute ban. Maybe not quite to that level. Like, maybe like, 3rd time's a charm, or 3 strikes you're out. I should say 3 strikes you're out for 30 minutes or something like that. But it's getting ridiculous, and especially like, I'm a high level PvP player. I can speak for the fact that I play up against other high level PvP players. I match with other high level PvP players, and when somebody who's high up in the PvP charts doesn't like how they die, they don't like that they got ambushed while while I was invisible, they leave, right? And we'll match again later, and they leave. After the second situation. Like, it's not a issue of connections. It's not an issue of getting error coded. Like, I'm pretty confident when I say that. But anyways, that's my whole 2 cents on that. I just hope Bungie can figure out some way to stop players from leaving games so much. Like, maybe have some sort of I really don't know. I think that's up to Bungie to figure out. But yeah, tell me your experience in the Crucible lately. Have you been having the same problems that I have? Tell me your thoughts on just all that good stuff. And yeah, that being said, do me a favor, watch the videos you see on the end screen here, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you like them. Like the video, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And guys, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye for now.